Park Do-yeon stood at the window of his office in Seoul, watching the rain fall over the city. He was 52 years old, and he had spent most of his life talking to aliens. He was good at it. He knew when to speak and when to stay silent. He knew when to push and when to step back. But today he felt something he had not felt in years. He felt worried that the message had arrived 3 hours ago. The Galactic Council wanted to meet with humanity. They called it an urgent matter. They said it was about the frontier sectors, the new star systems where humans had started building colonies. The council said they wanted to negotiate. Do-yeon knew better. In his experience, when powerful beings said they wanted to negotiate, they usually meant they wanted you to agree to their terms. The door opened behind him. Kim Yuna walked in, holding a tablet in her hands. She was 34, sharp and quick, and she had been his chief aide for 6 years. She did not look happy. "I finished reading the intelligence report," she said. "It's worse than we thought." Do-yeon turned from the window. "Tell me." Yuna sat down and placed the tablet on his desk. "Our agents intercepted communications between council members. They've already made their decision. They want to restrict humanity to 3-star systems. No more expansion. No more colonies. They want us to give up the worlds we've already settled in the frontier sectors." Do-yeon sat down slowly. "And the negotiations?" "Theater," Yuna said. "They want us to come, listen to their terms, and agree. That way it looks like we chose this. It looks legitimate." Do-yeon was quiet for a long moment. He had expected something like this. Humanity was young in the galaxy. They had only been traveling between stars for 80 years. The council had been ruling for thousands of years. They did not like change. They did not like new species growing too fast. "What do the generals say?" he asked. "They want to refuse the summons. They say we should prepare for war instead." Do-yeon shook his head. "If we refuse to go, we look afraid. We look weak, and they will use that against us. So we go and accept their terms?" "No," Do-yeon said. "We go, but we don't accept anything." Yuna frowned. "Then what do we do?" Do-yeon looked at her. "I'm still thinking about that." 3 days later, Do-yeon stood in the hangar of the space station orbiting Earth. His ship was ready. It was not a warship, just a diplomatic vessel, but it was fast and well equipped. His team was small. Yuna would come with him, of course. And Lieutenant Baek Jasu, a young security officer with a calm face and careful eyes, Jasu saluted as Do-yeon approached. "Sir, the ship is ready. We can leave when you give the order." "Thank you, Lieutenant," Do-yeon said. "Have you been briefed on the situation?" "Yes, sir. We're walking into a trap." Do-yeon almost smiled. "That's one way to describe it. I prefer honest words, sir." "So do I," Do-yeon said. "That's why I requested you for this mission." The journey to the council station took 9 days. The station orbited a neutron star, a dead sun that still glowed with terrible energy. The council had built there on purpose. They wanted visitors to feel small. They wanted them to feel afraid. Do-yeon spent most of the journey reading. He read histories of other species who had faced the council. He read records of negotiations that had failed. He read about races that had been pushed back, limited, controlled. Some of them had accepted their fate. Some had fought and lost. None of them had won, but Do-yeon also noticed something else. The council was not as united as it appeared. There were cracks, old disagreements, jealousies. Some species had more power than others. Some were unhappy with their position. On the 5th day, Yuna came to his quarters. "I found something," she said. She showed him more intercepted messages. The council had positioned warships near Earth's colonies. They were ready for humanity to resist. They expected a fight. "They're not just threatening us," Yuna said. "They're prepared to attack." Do-yeon nodded slowly. "They want us to see the ships. They want us to be afraid. They want us to negotiate from fear. Will it work?" Do-yeon looked at her. "What do you think?" Yuna was quiet. Then she said, "I think if we show fear now, we will be showing fear forever." Yes, Do-Yun said. That's exactly right. On the ninth day, they arrived at the council station. It was massive, larger than some moons, covered in towers and domes and lights. Ships from dozens of species moved around. It like insects around a hive. Their ship was directed to a small hangar on the lower levels. Not a place of honor, a place for minor visitors. For unimportant guests, Do-Yun understood the message. He did not let it bother him. A group of aliens met them at the hangar. They were tall creatures with gray skin and 4 arms. Protocol officers. They were polite but cold. They told Do-Yun and his team where they would stay. They told them when the first session would begin. They did not ask if humans needed anything. They did not offer welcome DOP as they walked through the station's corridors. Jisoo moved closer to Do-Yun. Sir, I'm counting weapons. These protocol officers are armed. There are security posts every 50 meters. They're watching us. Of course they are, Do-Yun said. We're the problem they need to solve. That night, Do-Yun stood at the window of his quarters. Outside, the neutron star glowed like an angry eye. He thought about Earth. He thought about the colonies in the frontier sectors. Millions of people had gone there to build new lives. They had worked hard. They had built homes and farms and cities. And now the council wanted to take it all away. Yuna appeared beside him. Have you decided what you're going to do? Do-Yun was quiet for a moment. Then he said, When I was young, my father taught me something. He said that some people will only respect you if you refuse to beg. He said that dignity is more important than safety. That's a dangerous philosophy, Yuna said. Yes, Do-Yun agreed. But I think it's true. He turned from the window and looked at her. Tomorrow, I'm going to do something that will make you angry. I need you to trust me. Yuna studied his face. Will it start a war? Maybe, Do-Yun said. Or maybe it will prevent one. He walked to his desk and sat down. Tomorrow would be a long day. Tomorrow would change everything. He needed to be ready. Outside, the neutron star continued to burn, cold and ancient and patient. It had seen civilizations rise and fall. It did not care about the small creatures arguing in its shadow, but Park Do-Yun cared. And he was not going to let his people become another forgotten story in the galaxy's long history. The Great Assembly Hall was designed to make visitors feel like insects. The ceiling rose hundreds of meters above the floor. The walls curved inward, covered with thousands of seats where alien delegates sat watching. Lights floated in the air, bright and cold, making sure everyone could see the small platform in the center where visiting species were meant to stand. Park Do-Yun walked to that platform with Yuna and Jisoo behind him. His footsteps echoed in the huge space. He could feel thousands of eyes on him. Some curious, some hostile, some bored. To most of these beings, humanity was just another young species that needed to be controlled. At the front of the hall, on a raised platform of their own, sat the High Council. 7 beings from the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. In the center was High Arbiter Thesic, a reptilian creature with scales the color of old bronze and eyes like black glass. He was over 800 years old. He had ruled the council for 3 centuries. Thesic raised one clawed hand and the hall went silent. We welcome the representative of humanity, Thesic said. His voice was deep and slow, like stones grinding together. We are pleased you have come to discuss the future of your species in our galaxy. Do-Yun bowed his head slightly. Thank you, High Arbiter. Humanity is honored to be heard. The words tasted like sand in his mouth. He did not feel honored. He felt like a prisoner being told the charges against him. Let us begin, Thesic said. Another council member rose. This was a creature like a giant insect with a hard shell and many legs. Do-Yun knew this species. They were called administrators. They loved rules and procedures. They presented the council's proposal. The terms were exactly what the intelligence report had predicted. Humanity must stop all expansion immediately. Humanity must give up the 3 colony worlds in the frontier sectors. Humanity must allow council observers to monitor their technology development. Humanity must reduce their fleet to defensive ships only, and in return, the Council would allow humanity to keep their 3 core systems. The Council would protect humanity from external threats. The Council would give humanity a voice, though not a vote, in galactic affairs. This is a generous offer, the Insect Administrator said. The Council has given much thought to humanity's situation. You are a young species. You are growing too fast. This is dangerous for you and for others. We wish to help you find a sustainable path. Do-Yun listened without showing any reaction. Beside him, he could feel Yuna's anger. She was gripping her tablet so hard her knuckles were white. Jisoo stood like a statue, but Do-Yun knew the soldier was counting exits and guards. When the administrator finished, Vesik looked at Do-Yun. You may ask questions before we proceed to the formal response session tomorrow. Do-Yun nodded. He asked questions. He asked about timelines. He asked about specific definitions. He asked about the observer program. He asked about fleet limitations. His voice was calm and professional. He sounded like a man who was seriously considering the terms. The council members answered patiently. Some of them seemed pleased. This was going well. The humans were being reasonable. After an hour, Vesik raised his hand again. We will stop here for today. The human delegation may rest and consider what they have heard. Tomorrow we will receive their formal response. Do-Yun bowed again. Thank you, High Arbiter. We will be ready. As he walked out of the hall, Yuna moved close to him. You can't be serious, she whispered. You can't be thinking of accepting this. Not here, Do-Yun said quietly. Wait, they returned to their quarters. Jisoo did a security sweep, checking for listening devices. He found 3 and disabled them. Now we can talk, Jisoo said. Yuna turned to Do-Yun immediately. Those terms are slavery. They want to put us in a cage and throw away the key. Our colonies, our fleet, our technology, everything. We'll never grow again. We'll never be anything more than we are right now. I know, Do-Yun said. Then why were you asking questions like you were taking them seriously? Because I wanted them to think I was taking them seriously, Do-Yun said. I wanted them to relax. I wanted them to think we would cooperate. Yuna stared at him. So, tomorrow you're going to negotiate? Try to get better terms? No, Do-Yun said. Tomorrow I'm going to reject everything. The room went silent. Jisoo raised his eyebrows. Yuna opened her mouth, then closed it again. You're going to say no? Yuna said finally. Just no, to the entire Galactic Council. Yes, they have warships around our colonies. They're ready to attack us? Yes. They could destroy everything we've built? Maybe, Do-Yun said. Or maybe not? He walked to the window and looked out at the station's towers. The Council looks united. But it isn't. I've been reading the intelligence. I've been watching them today. There are fractures. There are species who don't agree with this plan. Some of them think it's too harsh. Some think it's too soft. Some just don't want to fight a war. But they voted for these terms, Yuna said. Voting for terms is easy. Going to war is hard. Losing soldiers is hard. Spending resources is hard. Do-Yun turned back to face her. The Council is betting that we will be afraid. They're betting that we will negotiate from weakness. They're betting that we will give up something to avoid conflict. And if we don't, then they have to decide if they really want a war. All of them together against a species that won't back down. Yuna sat down slowly. That's a big gamble. Yes, Do-Yun agreed. But negotiating is also a gamble. If we negotiate, we accept that we are weak. We accept that we need their permission to exist. And once we accept that, we can never take it back. They will always control us. Jisoo spoke for the first time. Sir, what do you need from us? Do-Yun looked at the young soldier. I need you to be ready for anything. If this goes wrong, we may need to leave quickly. And if we can't leave? Do-Yun was quiet for a moment. Then we stay and face what comes. But we don't beg. We don't crawl. We stand. Jisoo nodded slowly. Understood, sir. That night, Do-yun couldn't sleep. He lay in his bed and thought about home. He thought about his wife, who had died 10 years ago. He thought about his daughter, who was a doctor on one of the colony worlds he was trying to protect. He thought about the millions of people who were counting on him to make the right choice. What was the right choice? He didn't know for certain. He only knew that accepting slavery was wrong. He knew that showing fear would make things worse, not better. He knew that some things were worth fighting for, even if you might lose. His father's voice came back to him. Dignity is more important than safety. Maybe that was true. Maybe it wasn't. Tomorrow, he would find out. He got up and went to the window. The neutron star was still there, burning in the darkness. He thought about all the species that had come to this station before him. All the ones who had accepted the Council's terms. All the ones who had been controlled and limited and slowly forgotten. Humanity would not be one of them. He didn't know if he was being brave or stupid. Probably both. But he knew one thing for certain. Tomorrow, when he stood in that great hall, he would not bow. He would not beg. He would look the High Arbiter in the eye and say the word that no one expected, and then he would see what happened. Next, the great assembly hall was even more crowded than the day before. Word had spread that the humans would give their response today. Delegates had come from all over the station to watch. The galleries were full. The air was thick with tension and curiosity. Park Do-yun walked to the central platform for the second time. His face was calm. His steps were steady. He carried nothing in his hands. He had no papers, no tablet, no notes. He had already decided what he would say. He didn't need to read it. Yuna and Jisoo stood behind him. Yuna's face was pale but controlled. She had argued with him again this morning. She had called him reckless. She had called him proud. She had said he was gambling with billions of lives. He had listened. Then he had told her his decision was final. Now they were here. There was no going back. High Arbiter Thesic looked down at them from his raised platform. His black eyes showed nothing. His ancient face was like a mask carved from stone. The Council recognizes the representative of humanity, Thesic said. We are ready to receive your formal response to our proposal. You may speak. Do-yun took a breath. The hall was silent. Thousands of beings watched him. He could feel their attention like a physical weight. High Arbiter, he began. Members of the Council. Delegates of the galaxy. I thank you for this opportunity to speak. He paused. Let them wait. Let them wonder. I have listened carefully to your proposal. I have considered every term. I have thought about what it would mean for humanity to accept these conditions. Another pause? The silence was absolute. And I must tell you, with respect and clarity, that humanity rejects your proposal. All of it, every term. We will not accept these conditions. We will not negotiate from this position. We will not surrender what we have built. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the hall exploded. Voices shouted from every direction. Delegates rose from their seats. Some were angry. Some were shocked. Some were laughing in disbelief. The noise was like a wave crashing against the walls. Thesic raised his hand. Slowly, the hall quieted. But the tension remained, thick and dangerous. You reject our proposal, Thesic said. His voice was cold. All of it? Yes, Do-yun said. Do you understand what you are doing? Yes, I do. Then explain yourself. Do-yun straightened his shoulders. This was the moment. This was why he had come. High Arbiter, your proposal is not a negotiation. It is a sentence. You have already decided what humanity must become. You have already decided that we must be small, weak, and controlled. You offer us protection, but it is the protection of a cage. You offer us a voice, but not a vote. You offer us existence, but not life. The hall was silent again, listening. I know why you have done this, Do-yun continued. Humanity is young and growing fast. We make you uncomfortable. We do not follow the old patterns. We do not wait for permission. You have seen species like us before, and you have always found ways to control them. You are very good at it. You have had thousands of years of practice. He looked directly at Bessic. But I must tell you something. Something important. We know about your warships. A ripple went through the hall. Whispers, movements. Yes, Do-Yun said. We know you have positioned your fleets near our colonies. We know you are ready to attack if we resist. We intercepted your communications. We have been watching you just as you have been watching us. Vesic's eyes narrowed. You accuse the Council of threatening you? I do not accuse. I state facts. You did not come here to negotiate. You came here to deliver terms. You expected us to be afraid of your ships. You expected us to beg for mercy. You expected us to negotiate away our future just to avoid conflict. Do-Yun shook his head. We will not do that. Then you choose war, said another council member. This was Fleet Commander Voreth, a massive creature covered in thick armor plates. His voice was like thunder. You choose destruction. Your colonies will burn. Your people will die. Is this what you want? No, Do-Yun said. I do not want war. But I also do not want slavery. And if those are my only choices, then I choose to stand. The hall erupted again. Voreth was shouting. Other delegates were arguing with each other. Some were calling for order. Some were calling for action, but Do-Yun was not finished. I have one more thing to say, he called out. His voice cut through the noise. Slowly, the hall settled. I know this council is not united, Do-Yun said. I know there are species here who think this proposal is wrong. I know there are delegates who do not want this war. I know there are cracks in your alliance. He looked around the hall, meeting eyes everywhere. I am not speaking only to the council now. I am speaking to everyone. Every species. Every delegate. Every being who has felt the weight of the council's control. Humanity is not your enemy. We are not a threat to be contained. We are a partner to be welcomed. We can trade with you. We can explore with you. We can build with you, but we will not kneel to you. We will not accept limits on our future because you are afraid of what we might become. He turned back to Vesic. You have a choice now, High Arbiter. You can send your ships to attack our colonies. You can start a war that will cost lives on all sides. You can try to crush us the way you have crushed others. Or you can accept that humanity is different. We do not break easily. We do not surrender easily. And we have friends in this hall. Maybe more friends than you realize. The silence that followed was different from before. It was not just shock. It was consideration. It was doubt. Vesic stared at Do-Yun for a long time. His ancient face was unreadable. Finally he spoke. You have made your position clear, he said. The council will deliberate. Until we reach a decision, your delegation will remain in your quarters. You will not leave the station. We understand, Do-Yun said. He turned and walked toward the exit. Yuna and Jisoo followed. The delegates watched them go. Some with anger. Some with fear. Some with something that might have been respect. As they entered the corridor outside the hall, Yuna grabbed his arm. That was insane, she said. You just told the entire galaxy to go to hell. No, Do-Yun said. I told them we refused to kneel. There's a difference. They might kill us. They might kill everyone. They might, Do-Yun agreed. But I don't think they will. Did you see their faces? They weren't expecting this. They don't know what to do now. Jisoo looked back at the hall. Some of them were nodding, sir. When you talked about species who think the proposal is wrong, some of them were nodding. Do-Yun allowed himself a small smile. Good, that's what I was hoping for. They walked in silence for a while. Then Yuna spoke again. What happens now? Do-Yun thought about the question. He thought about the warships and the colonies. He thought about the council and its fractures. He thought about humanity and its future. Now we wait, he said. And we see if the galaxy is ready for something new? They returned to their quarters. The door closed behind them. Outside, the great station hummed with activity and tension, and the Whispers of history being made. Park Do-yun sat down and closed his eyes. He had done what he came to do. He had said no. Now the galaxy would have to decide what to do about it, and whatever happened next, humanity would face it standing. The waiting was the hardest part. Park Do-yun and his team were confined to their quarters. Guards stood outside the door. They were not prisoners exactly, but they were not free either. The council was deliberating. Until a decision was made, the humans would stay where they were. Yuna spent the first day pacing. She checked her tablet constantly, looking for news, looking for any sign of what was happening. But the council's communications were blocked. They were cut off from everything. "This is torture," she said. "They're doing this on purpose. They want us to panic. They want us to change our minds." "Probably," Do-yun said. He was sitting by the window, watching the ships move around the station. "But we're not going to panic. And we're not going to change our minds. What if they attack the colonies while we're trapped here? Then Earth Command will respond. They know what to do." Yuna stopped pacing. "You planned for this. You knew they might hold us here." "I considered it," Do-yun said. "We sent coded messages before the session. Earth knows our situation. They're preparing." Jisoo was sitting in the corner, cleaning his sidearm. "Sir, I've been thinking about what you said in the hall. About the council having cracks. About other species disagreeing with the proposal, yes? How do we know that's true? How do we know anyone will actually support us?" Do-yun was quiet for a moment. "We don't know for certain. But I believe it's true. I've studied these species for years. I've read their histories. I've watched how they vote, how they argue, how they make decisions. The council is an alliance of convenience. Many species joined because they had no choice. Some of them are not happy with their position. But will they actually stand against Thesic? That depends on how afraid they are, and how much they want to see something change." On the second day, something changed. Jisoo noticed it first. The guards outside their door were replaced. The new guards were different. They were from a species Do-yun recognized, tall beings with smooth blue skin and large eyes. They were called Watchers. They were known for being fair and thoughtful. "Why would they change our guards?" Yuna asked. "I don't know," Do-yun said. "But it means something." That evening there was a knock on the door. Not from the guards. From someone else. Jisoo opened the door carefully. Standing in the corridor was an alien Do-yun had seen in the council hall. An insectoid creature with a hard shell and delicate wings folded against its back. "Ambassador Ren, may I enter?" Ren asked. The voice was soft and clicking. Du-hyun stood up. "Please." Ren came into the room. The guards outside did not try to stop the ambassador. "Interesting. I will be direct," Ren said. "I do not have much time. The council is still deliberating, but I wanted to speak with you privately." "I'm listening," Do-yun said. "What you did in the hall was remarkable. In all my years, I have never seen a representative reject the council so completely. You surprised everyone, including me." "I told the truth," Do-yun said. "I said what needed to be said?" "Yes, and that truth has caused problems." Ren's wings twitched. "Fleet Commander Voreth is demanding immediate military action. He says humanity must be punished. He says if the council shows weakness now, other species will rebel." Yuna stepped forward. "And what does Thesic say?" "Thesic is uncertain. He did not expect this. He thought the humans would be like all the others, afraid, willing to negotiate, willing to give up something to avoid conflict. Your refusal has created a situation he does not know how to handle. Is that good or bad for us?" Do-yun asked. Ren made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Both. Thesic's uncertainty is good because he will not act quickly. But Varath's anger is dangerous. He has support. Many species think force is the only answer." "And what do you think, Ambassador?" Ren was quiet for a moment. Then the insectoid said, "I think humanity is interesting. I think you are different from the species we have controlled before. I think Voreth is wrong. War with you would be costly and long, and in the end, it would weaken the council more than it would weaken you. Doyan felt a small spark of hope. You're not the only one who thinks this. No, there are others. We have been talking quietly since your speech. 12 species have serious doubts about military action. Some of them are influential. 12, Yuna said. Out of 47. 12 is enough to cause problems, Ren said. 12 is enough to make Thesik hesitate. 12 is enough to change things, if humanity is willing to work with us. Doyan studied the ambassador carefully. What exactly are you proposing? For now, patience. The council will take time to decide. During that time, the 12 will work to build more support. If we can show that military action is too costly, too divisive, Thesik will look for another way. And if you can't? Ren's wings folded tighter against the shell. Then Vorth will get his war, and we will all suffer. After Ren left, Yuna sat down heavily. 12 species. That's more than I expected. It's a start, Doyan said. But it's not enough. We need more. How do we get more? We're stuck in this room. Doyan was quiet, thinking. Then he walked to the communication terminal in the corner. It was restricted, but not completely disabled. Jisu, can you get me a secure channel to Earth? Jisu examined the terminal. I can try. It will take some work. Do it. It took 3 hours, but Jisu managed to establish a connection. The signal was weak and encrypted, but it worked. Doyan sent a message to Earth Command explaining the situation. He told them about the Council's deliberation. He told them about Ren and the 12 species. He told them to prepare but not to attack. Not yet. The response came 2 hours later. Earth Command had already put the colonies on alert. The fleet was mobilizing, but they were not going to strike first. They would wait for Doyan's signal. More importantly, they had intelligence. The Council's warships near the colonies had not moved. They were holding position but not advancing. That meant Thesik had not given the order to attack. Not yet? That's good news, Yuna said when she heard. He's hesitating. Yes, Doyan agreed. But hesitation doesn't last forever. We need to push him toward a decision. The right decision. On the 4th day, more news came through Jisu's secure channel. 3 more species had joined the group opposing military action. 15 now, instead of 12. On the 5th day, there were rumors that Vorth was furious. He was demanding that Thesik act immediately. He was calling the waiting a sign of weakness. On the 6th day, Ren visited again. The ambassador looked tired but hopeful. Thesik has agreed to reconvene the council tomorrow, Ren said. He will make a decision. But before he does, he wants to speak with you again. Doyan nodded slowly. What do you think he wants? I think he wants to find a way out of this that doesn't make him look weak. I think he wants you to give him something he can use. I won't surrender, Doyan said immediately. I won't accept their original terms. No one expects you to. But perhaps there is a middle path? Perhaps humanity can offer something that allows Thesik to change course without losing face. Doyan thought about this. A middle path. Not surrender. Not war. Something else. I have an idea, he said slowly. But it will require the council to accept something they have never accepted before. What is that? Doyan looked at the ambassador. Equals. Ren's wings rustled. That is a very large request. Yes, but these are very large times. After Ren left, Yuna came to stand beside Doyan. What are you thinking? I'm thinking that tomorrow I need to give the council a different choice. Not just yes or no. Something new, partnership, Yuna said. Exactly. Trade, cooperation, mutual defense. All the things they could have with us if they stop trying to control us. You think Thesik will accept that? Doyan looked out the window at the ancient station and the burning star beyond. I think he'll accept it before he accepts war. And that's all we need. Tomorrow would come soon. And with it, the answer to everything. The great assembly hall felt different this time. The anger was still there. But it was mixed with something else. Uncertainty, Curiosity, the sense that something important was about to happen. Park Do-yun walked to the central platform for the third time. The galleries were full again, even more crowded than before. Every species wanted to see how this would end. Would there be war? Would there be surrender? Or would there be something no one expected? High Arbiter Thesic sat in his place, ancient and still. His black eyes watched Do-yun approach. There was no warmth in those eyes, but there was something new. Calculation. Interest. Fleet Commander Vorth sat nearby, his massive, armored body tense with anger. He had wanted blood. He had wanted to crush the humans and show the galaxy what happened to species that defied the Council. He had not gotten what he wanted. Not yet, Thesic raised his hand. The hall went silent. 1 week ago, the representative of humanity rejected the Council's proposal, Thesic said. His voice echoed through the vast space. Since then, we have deliberated. We have considered our options. We have listened to many voices. He paused. The silence was absolute. Today, we will hear from the human representative one final time. Then we will make our decision. Thesic looked at Do-yun. You may speak. Do-yun stood straight and looked around the hall. He saw Ren in the galleries, watching with careful attention. He saw other delegates from the 15 species who opposed military action. He saw many more who had not yet decided. High Arbiter, he began. Members of the Council? Delegates of the galaxy. 1 week ago I stood here and said no. I rejected your proposal because it was not fair. Because it would have made humanity slaves in everything but name. Because we cannot accept limits on our future based on your fear of what we might become. He let the word settle. Then he continued. But I did not come here only to say no. I came here to offer something better. I came here to propose a new relationship between humanity and the Council. Not control. Not submission, partnership. A murmur went through the hall. Do-yun raised his voice slightly. Humanity is young. We know this. We have been traveling between stars for only 80 years. You have been doing it for thousands. You have knowledge and experience that we lack. You have built something remarkable here. A galaxy where dozens of species work together, trade together, share knowledge together. We want to be part of that. But we will not be part of it as subjects. We will only be part of it as equals. This is not pride. This is not arrogance. This is simply what we are. Humanity does not kneel. We never have. We never will. He looked directly at Thesic. I'm not asking you to like us. I'm not asking you to trust us. I'm asking you to recognize reality. You can try to control us and we will resist. You can try to destroy us and we will fight. The war will be long and costly. Many will die on both sides. And in the end, even if you win, you will have lost. Or you can accept us as partners. We can trade with you. We can explore new regions of space together. We can share technology and knowledge. We can defend each other against common threats. You will have access to our resources, our ideas, our energy. And we will have access to your wisdom and your network. He spread his hands. I am offering you a choice. The old way or a new way. Control or cooperation. War or peace. The hall was buzzing now. Delegates were talking to each other, arguing, considering. Vorth rose from his seat. This is nonsense, he shouted. His voice was like an explosion. The human offers nothing. He asks us to give up our authority, our traditions, our right to manage the galaxy as we see fit. If we accept this, every young species will demand the same. The Council will lose all control. Some delegates cheered. Others were silent. Do-yun faced Vorth calmly. Commander, you are afraid. I understand. Change is frightening. But the galaxy is changing whether you want it to or not. New species are rising. Old systems are weakening. You can fight this change and be destroyed by it. Or you can shape it and be strengthened by it. Your traditions are not sacred. They are choices. You made them a long time ago and they worked for a long time. but they do not work anymore. Humanity is proof of that. We will not fit into your old patterns. So you must make new patterns, or you must break us. And I do not think you can break us. Vorith snarled. You are arrogant. No, Doyan said. I am honest. There is a difference. Vesic raised his hand again. Vorith sat down, still seething. The High Arbiter looked at Doyan for a long moment. Then he spoke. You propose partnership, trade, cooperation, but what guarantees do you offer? Why should we believe you will honor any agreement? Because it is in our interest to honor it, Doyan said. Because we want to grow, and we can grow faster with your help than without it. Because we want peace, not war. Because our word is our bond, and we do not break it. And if you do break it, then you will have every right to respond as you see fit. But we will not break it. You will see. Vesic was silent. The hall waited. Everyone was watching the ancient reptile, waiting for his decision. Finally, Vesic spoke. The council will vote. The vote took an hour. Each species cast their decision. Doyan stood on the platform and watched. 15 species voted immediately against military action and in favor of preliminary talks with humanity. Then 3 more joined. Then 5 more. The momentum was building. Vorith voted for war, of course. So did several other military species. But they were not enough. One by one, the votes came in. Trade partners and neutral species and even some of the council's oldest members chose the new path. When it was done, Vesic announced the result. The council has decided, he said. There will be no military action against humanity at this time. Instead, we will enter preliminary negotiations for a new framework of relations, trade, cooperation, mutual agreements. This is not full partnership. This is a beginning. We will see if humanity can be trusted. He looked at Doyan. You have won this day, human. But do not mistake this for acceptance. You will be watched. You will be tested. If you fail to meet your obligations, the council will respond. Doyan bowed his head slightly. We understand. And we will not fail. Vorith stood and walked out of the hall without speaking. Several delegates followed him, but most remained, watching as history was made. Ren approached Doyan afterward. The insectoid ambassador's wings were relaxed, almost happy. You did it, Ren said. I was not sure you could. I was not sure either, Doyan admitted. But I believed it was possible. Sometimes that is enough. This is only the beginning. The negotiations will be long. Vorith will try to stop you. There will be setbacks. I know. But we have a chance now. That is all I wanted. He looked around the great hall one more time. The ancient walls. The countless seats. The vast space designed to make visitors feel small. He did not feel small. He felt like a man who had done what he came to do. The journey home took 9 days, just like the journey out. But everything was different now. The news had spread across the galaxy. Humanity had defied the council and won. Not through weapons, not through threats, through words and will and the refusal to surrender. On the ship, Yuna sat with Doyan in the observation room, watching the stars. I owe you an apology, she said. I thought you were being reckless. I thought you were going to get us all killed. You were right to worry, Doyan said. It could have gone wrong. I was lucky. No, Yuna said. You were smart. And you were brave. That is not the same as lucky. Jisu came in and sat nearby. Sir, I have been thinking. What you said in the hall about humanity not kneeling. Do you really believe that? Doyan considered the question. I believe we should not kneel when kneeling means giving up who we are. I believe that dignity matters. I believe that some things are worth standing for, even when standing is dangerous. He looked at both of them. I do not know what will happen next. The negotiations will be hard. The council will try to limit us in other ways. Vorith and his allies will look for chances to hurt us. We have won a battle, but the war for humanity's place in the galaxy will go on for a long time. But we are in a better position now than we were before. And that is because we refuse to be afraid. That is because we refuse to accept less than we deserve. Yuna nodded slowly. Jisoo was quiet, thinking. The stars moved past the window, countless and ancient and indifferent. But among those stars, humanity was building homes, growing, expanding, reaching for something more. Park. Do-Yun looked at those stars and felt something he had not felt in a long time. Hope. The galaxy was vast and old, and full of powers that did not want humanity to rise. But humanity would rise anyway. Because that was who they were. That was what they did. They did not kneel. They did not surrender. They stood and they reached and they dreamed, and that made all the difference.